Hey, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Here in Atlanta, GMS Atlanta, and I wanted to speak on some of these curses that are falling onto the Edomites. And a great example is what just happened last week with Hurricane Helene, or Helena, however you want to say it, Helene. And it went through the west of North Carolina, parts of Tennessee as well. And it did some massive damage over there. These people are still without power. These places are flooded. Even though it's in a high elevation, it seems like it should be draining down, which kind of makes it a little strange or a little odd. But ultimately, the Lord is plaguing Edom. He's throwing these curses onto them, and they are being plagued right now. And you're seeing it with also with the lack of help from the government. They're not going up in there and taking out the dead bodies that are floating downstream, that are laid out in front, and their trees. There's even a big image of a coffin just floating down the river. And you see this happening, and there's no help coming for them. And then at the same time, they're saying that FEMA is out of money to help these hurricane victims. And this is causing division within the nation of Edom. It's also showing the lack of care that the government has for their people. And this is eventually going to lead into civil war, and it's just causing more division, more strife, and these people are fed up with it. And Lord will, they start doing something about it soon. Not saying we're going to do anything, but they will, because it's ridiculous for them. But I'm going to start out here in Ezekiel 35, because the Lord is against Edom, and he's casting them down little by little at this point, but ultimately they're going to get struck down with the nuclear weapons, nuclear missiles, and the rulership of the Edomites, who are self-proclaimed white people, including those small hatters, those 1948ers, their rulership is going to fade away, as well as the rulership of all the heathen, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is coming to set order here on the earth. So it's Ezekiel 35 and verse 3, because the Lord's against them. And it says, and say unto it. Actually, start at verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. When it's speaking of Mount Seir, speaking of the Edomites, the Idumeans. That's their original habitation. And it says, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord, power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Because it's prophesied for not only Edom to lose power, but at the end of their captivity, after that 1,000-year reign, they're going to be completely done away with. They're going to be most desolate. Their gene will be wiped off of the earth. And then the point right here, verse 4, it says, I will lay thy cities waste. And you see there in Asheville, he's laid that place waste with the majority of what's around there. It is waste, and it is so wasted that it's hard to even imagine them being able to rebuild. And as it says in Malachi, they think they're going to rebuild, but the Lord's going to cast down, because even if they rebuild it, it's still going to get nuked. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh. And that's with all caps, because the Lord is going to take these people out. And you're seeing little bits of it with the desolation of Western Carolina. And go into it a little more, there's also there's rumors, or it's not even a rumor, you can look it up, just Google it, largest lithium deposits in the world. And they're based right there in Asheville, and as well as quartz, which quartz is used to make microchips. So you can see the elite of Edom actually needs these resources that are underneath them, so they're not even sending in help to get them out. And yeah, Edom's he's laying his own places desolate, but the Lord is ultimately doing this. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 31. Actually, I'm going to start at 30. It says, "Take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee." And some of that comfort is seeing the downfall of our enemies and seeing their country being laid down. Verse 31, "Miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoiced at thy fall." And the nations certainly afflicted us, and they certainly rejoiced at our fall. It says, "They that sold them exclaimed, happy am I, for the Lord has made me rich." Just paraphrasing, but they've been on a high horse about our downfall and our captivity, but it's all going to switch on them. Shalom. It says, "Miserable are their cities, miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons." And here in Babylon the Great, aka America, received the sons of Jerusalem, and especially in that place Asheville. It's named after a great slave owner, as well as lots of other slave owners were in there. And that place has a racist, dark history, but the Lord threw it down, and now they are miserable. They are crying about the smell and the stench of these dead bodies that are there. It says, "Miserable are the cities which thy children served. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin, and was glad of thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation." And they are complaining and crying and trying to get help, and the Lord ain't hearing it. Even Esau is turning away this help that's coming in for him. They're turning it away because they want them out of that place. And this is just part of Esau's downfall. The Lord's got many plagues and many judgments coming down the hammer, and this is just one of them. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Radash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.